Be careful what you wish for, young lady. I could gaze at you right now and then take you to a shady corner and have my way with you. And leave your carcass to the rats.
You wouldn't dare. My mother would know. She'd never forgive you.
How could she suspect me? Do you know how many vampires are lurking in the city tonight as we speak? Vampires with a worse sense of humor than mine.
Oh, my God. For one second I thought you actually... Excellent, Dr. Reed. Very convincing.
What do you know about Aloysius Dawson?
That man is a tyrant. The embodiment of greed and selfishness. All I despise about this country.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these...
Remember, don't let any strangers come into your house.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, John.
Clarence, why have you distributed leaflets about vampires all across the West End?
I have to warn everybody about them. They've killed thousands of people already, unnoticed thanks to the epidemic. We are all in danger here.
Vampires in London? Come on, Clarence. Who's going to believe that?
I'm not mad, Jonathan. You have to believe me. I know they are real. They're all around us, even as we speak.
Clarence, you've always been a reliable and a good friend to me. If you say you saw a vampire, then I believe you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for your trust. You don't know what that means to me.
It's all right. But if you want my help, you have to explain exactly what happened.
The first time it was in Rouen. I saw an officer drink the blood of a soldier. I saw its teeth, saw it bite. It was a vampire, Johnny, and they're here too.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
What do you mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Prewin, the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig deep enough.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a doctor, maybe you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
Clarence, tell me about the vampire you saw in France.
I was enjoying my leave in Rouen. I left the bar, took a shortcut back to the barracks. I saw it in a back alley. An officer in a stained uniform, biting into a soldier's neck.
But you were drunk, weren't you? Are you sure these two men were not just kissing?
Please don't insult me, Johnny. I hid, and I saw him leave. Then I saw the body, drained of all blood. I've seen the same marks here in London since I've returned.
Did you ever see that officer again?
No. He wore the uniform of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. I did some research, but found no trace of him. He probably stole it from a previous victim.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Well, I've discovered he's quite versed in occult knowledge. So I wrote him a letter asking him to finance my research about vampires. He never responded.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Ihr wolltet doch gar nicht rein. Ich dachte, das ist vielleicht sein Haus. Ich dachte, dass ich schon weiter links stehe von der Tür. Naja. Ich dachte, es wäre diese Tür. Aber ich war auch noch nie hier hinten, ne? Ha!
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
Ah, ich bin gleich fertig.
I remember when Mary came here with her husband and her son. They were such a beautiful family.
Ja, ich gehe auch ins Schlafzimmer, um da zu gucken. Ist schick hier. Die verlorene Bibliothek. Haben Vampire Verbündete unter den Lebenden? Ja, das haben sie. Sie nennen sich selbst Bruderschaft. Sie dienen ihren unsterblichen Herren auf vielerlei Weise und sie erhalten dafür womöglich Privilegien und Wissen. Irgendwo in London ist der Sitz ihrer Macht und dort intrigiert ihr geheimer Rat gegen uns. Ich nenne diesen Ort die verlorene Bibliothek. Es ist ein Ort, an dem diese Verräter zahllose, geheime und lang vergessene Bücher sammeln. Ich persönlich biete 1000 Pfund dem Ersten, der mir einen Beweis für die Existenz und den genauen Standort der Bibliothek liefern kann. Clarence Crossley. Melden Sie sich für weitere Informationen direkt bei mir. Und das war dieser Flyer. Venus Tagebuch. 9. Juli. Ich habe den letzten Tag und die letzte Nacht durchgeweint. Es waren Freudentränen. Ich wusste nicht, dass Glückseligkeit so schmerzen kann. Gerade hat mir mein Clarence geschrieben. Er ist lebendig und unversehrt aus dem Krieg zurück. In 2 Wochen ist er zu Hause. Ich danke dir, Gott. Ich danke dir so sehr. Ich kann es kaum erwarten, meinen geliebten Mann wiederzusehen. 14. August. Clarence' Haltung macht mir immer noch Sorgen. Seit seiner Rückkehr ist er nicht mehr derselbe. In den ersten Wochen dachte ich, er brauche einfach Zeit, um sich wieder einzugewöhnen, aber sein Verhalten wirkt immer unberechenbarer. Heutzutage ist er ständig draußen, Tag und Nacht und sucht Beweise. Die Grippe interessiert ihn nicht. Ich interessiere ihn nicht. Das macht mir langsam Angst. 21. September. Ich kann es nicht fassen. Clarence hat die Hälfte seines Lohns auf den Kopf gehauen, um irgendwelche dämlichen Flugblätter drucken zu lassen, die er nun kostenlos in der Nachbarschaft verteilen will. Die Leute beginnen mich auszulachen. Jetzt will er irgendeinen öffentlichen Vortrag in einem kürzlich geschlossenen Theater organisieren, um die Leute vor bösen Kreaturen in London zu warnen. Natürlich ist der Eintritt frei. Mein Mann mag unversehrt aus dem Krieg zurückgekehrt sein, aber ich fürchte, er hat dort drüben seinen Verstand verloren. 24. September. Clarence hat mir gerade gestanden, dass er nicht seinen halben, sondern seinen ganzen Lohn und außerdem einige unserer Ersparnisse ausgegeben hat. Aufgrund des Krieges seien Papiere und Farbe sehr teuer, sagt er, aber dieses Opfer müssen wir bringen. Mittlerweile verspotten uns die Leute öffentlich. Ich weiß nicht, was ich machen soll. 5. Oktober. Heute hat mir der Metzger Mr. Galway die monatliche Rechnung geschickt und um vollständige Begleichung gebeten. Außerdem hat er mich wissen lassen, dass er nun jedes Mal direkt Geld sehen wolle, wenn wir Fleisch bei ihm kaufen. Angeschrieben wird nicht mehr. Der Bäcker hat mir vor 2 Tagen dasselbe gesagt. Zuerst habe ich es für ein neues Konzept wegen der Beschränkung der Epidemie gehalten, aber anscheinend gelten die finanziellen Abmachungen mit dem Läden für meine Freunde noch. Ich habe mich so geschämt, mir haben die Worte gefehlt. 8. Oktober. So kann es nicht weitergehen. Clarence hat völlig den Verstand verloren. Er gibt all unser Geld aus und ich habe keine Ahnung, wie ich ihn davon abhalten soll. Manchmal wünsche ich mir, er wäre nicht aus dem Krieg heimgekehrt. Vielleicht muss ich da ja mal jemand den Kopf waschen. Als bester Freund. Sie redet einfach immer noch weiter, obwohl ich gar nicht mehr da bin. Hi.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the neighborhood recently?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan, please accept my condolences for your mother and your sister. Such a tragedy.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden, and I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Tell me about Clarence's obsession with vampires.
It drives me so crazy it makes my stomach hurt. I was so relieved to have him back. But I quickly realized he'd lost his mind in France.
I understand your irritation, Venus. But you have to accept the trauma Clarence endured on the battlefield.
The question is simple, Jonathan. Is my husband mad? Yes or no? Do vampires exist? Or is Clarence a lunatic?
So you don't believe Clarence?
If poor Mary, bless her soul, had tried to convince you of the existence of bloody vampires, would you have believed her? Seriously?
The important question is, what do you really think of your husband?
I'm tough, Jonathan. He should have told me the horrors he witnessed, however appalling it was, instead of inventing a fantasy about blood-drinking monsters.
What do you think about Clarence squandering his fortune on his obsession?
Soon we'll be poor, and forced to sell the house. Where will we go? In which filthy, infected part of town will we end up? I'm so afraid.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I never met the man. I know Clarence tried to contact him recently, but I don't know why.
Goodbye for now.
At least you survived the Great War. I feared the worst.
Let your guard down.
Good. Do you realize you are ruining your family, Clarence? Don't you see the risk here?
Money isn't important. Not important when it is a matter of life and death. That is what my dear Venus cannot understand.
People will laugh at you, if they don't already. Think about your wife and your position. Think about your future.
I understand my wife's embarrassment, but gossips don't kill, vampires do. There'll be no future if people don't open their eyes.
I can't believe I'm telling you this, but if warning people is that important to you, why not choose a more efficient way to spend your money?
Don't you think I tried? I knocked at every door, went to every bank, I even tried to be published. No, Jonathan. This is a one-man war.
Ich hätte ihn ja jetzt zu Throckmorton geschickt, dem Vampirjäger, damit er wenigstens irgendwen hat, so, aber der ist ja tot.
You need some rest, Clarence.
Wo kriege ich denn Hinweise zu ihr her?
I need to find information about Aloysius Dawson. What can you tell me about him?
Don't trust him. He's looking for the same thing I was. Rats? No, not rats. Something else. I don't remember.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Das hat's ja jetzt nicht gebracht. Ach, der Krämer. Ich habe den Krämer vergessen.
Women of all countries unite!
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Ja, ja.
I may have...
Das ist Blei. Ich brauche Alu.
Do you know anything about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
He used to be a big spender. One day, he sent 3 houseboys to buy all the beluga in my shop. For his brother's birthday, if I remember correctly.
I see. Anything else? Less gastronomic, perhaps?
I really can't say. The man is filthy rich. But you know that, of course.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Ja, okay. Das ist jetzt auch nicht so gebracht. Ich frage nochmal Avery und dann habe ich es ja auch wirklich alle durch, ne?
Play in this house before I die.
Oh, da ist er.
Yes, sir?
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Not much, sir. Mr. Dawson's house used to be a good house, with many servants. I heard he fired them all recently.
Thank you, Avery. We'll talk later.
Your bedroom is ready as always. Good night, sir. Who could have done?
Ich check noch eben meine Taschen. Und dann gehe ich auch wirklich zu Aloysius Dawson. Geil. Okay. Da habe ich überall auf Schaden, ne? Halt, stopp. Kann ich nicht besser die? Ah, ich brauche einen Abzug. Ich habe jetzt nicht geguckt, ob der Krämer noch einen hat. Egal. Was ist mit dem hier? Ja, dafür habe ich natürlich wieder zu wenig. Gut, dann geht's die. Läuft doch. Laufen kann ich, wenn ich fertig bin. Guck mal, der Innenhof ist sogar ist sauber, wollte ich sagen. Die Mission weg? Also, ich muss doch hier irgendwo hin, ne? Das ist... Ach komm. Ja, okay. Ich habe keinen Questmarker mehr, aber ich muss ja eh irgendwie nicht nach Whitechapel. So ein Scheiß. Keine Zeit, Jungs. Da ist auch schon die Tür. Ah, ist gut. Wo wohnt denn der gute Mann?